Okay, here we are. Welcome back to more of the stream. So today is going to be a little impromptu session because my plans ended unexpectedly early. So, yay for me. So I've done a bit of dabbling off stream just to kind of get a sense of a couple of things on the stream end, such as trying to get some of these bots set up. So I think I've now got Nightbot and Seribot set up, but I think Seribot should be working, but for some reason it doesn't seem that Nightbot has yet to do any of the automated stuff I've kind of set up there, so I'm hoping that'll fix itself somehow. If not, I'm going to have to look into that a bit more after stream, but in the meantime, I've also got some nice music change going on in the background, so we set up some Twitch-safe lo-fi, courtesy of Spotify, and whoever's set up the 2024 Twitch lo-fi list. I honestly have no idea how to use Spotify very well, so I have no idea who made it. It looks like Solivaro or something, I'm not sure, maybe that's just what it's called, but in any case, I noticed with the fantasy list that we had, while I did like some of the songs that were coming through, there'd also be a couple like really strange, jarring ones which kind of threw my flow off a bit. So I'm hoping some chiller, consistent lo-fi could be nice kind of study music for us. It's, in a way, what we're doing is actually studying, if you think about it. That said, let's get into things here. So last time I had Zan with me and we dibbled and dabbled with a few different things, but this time I'm thinking we're gonna go back to some human-based stuff, and I'm thinking we're gonna go away from the central continent since that's where we've mostly been doing all of our development so far. But at the same time, it's been a little while since we have like done anything properly. So I feel like starting somewhere fresh could be a very good method of getting back into things here. So I'm just going to bring up in the background some other notes on my end, which you guys can't see. And once I bring these up, we'll be good to go. So mostly just bringing up the cultures in the background that we already have kind of dabbled with, like the wizards and the knights or whatever, just so I have a quick and easy reference of like how I've been formatting things, so I kind of know a bit of where we want to begin. But yeah. So in terms of these Eastern cultures, it's obviously going to be very Asian inspired, our little Eastern continent here. And Asia being Asia has such a myriad of very deep, diverse, very historical cultures that really have a lot of color and flavor to them. And I mean, I'm definitely going to have like Japan, India, and China as like the big three here for sure, but I am open to maybe adding in a few other cultures along the way, depending on what I kind of find. With that said, it's worth thinking a little bit here about how much of what I want to do today and where. So I guess the big thing is like really thinking about what kind of role we want these cultures to play. I know one thing I need to add in real quick is Eastman Mongol Empire, because that's definitely going to be a thing at some point. Okay. With that said, China, Japan, India, I've thought a little bit about like what I kind of want to do with these three a bit loosely. Like Japan, we're definitely gonna have some kind of ninjas and samurai. We kind of lost it there. China will have like the martial arts going on. In India, we'll have a lot of Hinduism influences. So I'm thinking we can go in here and let's learn a bit more about Hinduism. Because Hinduism itself, obviously like one of the world's oldest, if not the oldest religion, and it has a lot of mythos in the confines of it, similar to Egyptian, Norse, and Greek mythos with like their own deities, their own gods, their own demons, their own races, etc., etc. And while it has some very strong legends and myths and stories, it really isn't as well referenced or as well used in Western literature or media in comparison to some of the others we've kind of already discussed. So there really is a lot we can work with here. I'm just going to refresh my little background research page because it seems to be going a little bit slow, but yeah, so some of the things we want to take down are like the notable deities within Hinduism. Kind of want to look into samsara as well as the Rakshasa. And now I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these pronunciations very, very horribly, so please forgive me for that. But yeah, I suppose I'll also briefly mention like one of the reasons I really want to do something with Indian Hinduism culture and mythos for this little worldview we're making. A lot of that was inspired by a web webtoon series called Kubera, for those who are aware of it. And for those who are unaware of it, Kubera is basically a story. It has like magic and demons and gods and whatnot, and basically the gods themselves are like the embodiments of their power, and basically the way you use magic is by speaking the god's name. And names carry a very powerful meaning in that worldview. And there are also demons, the Rakshasa. There's a few different races of them. I can't remember the races off the top of my head, but basically how those would kind of work is they'd basically be like demons that kind of evolve over time and become like more powerful and more potent and things like that. And I really love how it did a lot of the system. So, Hinduism, one of the oldest religions, stretching back 4,000 years. And there's quite a few about it. So, samsara is the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. That's going to play a pretty key part in what we're kind of doing here. We've already mentioned before how we've had what's it called, a few kind of different underworlds and things like that, but reincarnation is something we haven't really gone into. Now, I don't know if I fully want some form of reincarnation within this system, but I wouldn't mind using the different kind of realms of samsara as a reference for some kind of area or ethereal planes or something like that. So if I remember right, there's like the beast world and the spirit world, or a few different things that you kind of go to based on the karma you've kind of had throughout life or something like that. I think the construction of Bleach's universes actually take inspiration from the realms of samsara, like the Hugo the realm of the Hollows, is inspired by the realm of hungry ghosts, I believe. Just as like the human world is another, soul society is another, hell is another, and then there's also like the I forget if I mentioned the beast realm or not, but yeah, you get the gist. So, Let's think about this a little more. So Dharma refers to the moral order of the universe and a code of living. Okay. Moksha is the ultimate goal of Hindu life. And then Brahman, the ultimate unchanging reality composed of pure being and consciousness. Brahman is often described as infinite, omnipresent. I think there's an overgeared character named after that concept, which is actually very fitting. Cool, so we want to think about what kind of deities are within this system, and what kind of roles they play. Let's see, we have the sacred text. I'm not sure at this stage if we want to delve into the sacred text or not just yet. Then there's also the religious practices like rituals and festivals. Okay, cool. So let's start with deities. So tell me about the most prominent Hindu deities. So like the big ones off the bat are obviously going to be like Vishnu, Shiva, even as limited as Hinduism is referenced in Western literature. I believe those two with certainty are very much so well known. So we're going to have Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu. So Brahma is the creator, Shiva is the destroyer, Vishnu is the preserver. Cool, then we got a few outside of that too, such as like Shimi and Saraswati. Again, I'm probably butchering all these names. But yeah, I'm thinking I might try to limit it to just these three big ones for now, because as I mentioned before, we're going to have like a myriad of cultures with a myriad of power systems, and faith itself is going to be like some form of power system that is utilized well by the people of this worldview. And so we've already kind of established a god of light on the central continent, who's basically going to be like the generic kind of interpretation of like the Christian / Judas omnipresent god or whatever. Who's basically like an overwhelming force of like good and light and all that. Then we also have the Greek gods, who are more of a pantheon of gods specializing in a few different things. But you might have seen we've pretty much like culled the Greek pantheon by half as well. And we've put the 12 Olympians down to like 5 or 6 or something like that. Because while we might end up having other gods or deities at some stage that are referenced or utilized outside of power systems, for the most part, I kind of want to tie them to having an actual purpose, if possible. Mostly because, at the end of the day, this is going to be a very... We're using this world to develop a TTRPG system, so we do need to have some kind of like gameplay aspects in terms of like how they can be utilized, and for the most part that involves having some form of combat aspect to them. Now, with that said, the little trinity here we have of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. Creation, destruction, preservation. I think that is a very good trio of reference that we can use to create some kind of faith-based power system for these guys. So let's just do that. There we go. So we're going to have creation, destruction, and preservation / preservation slash, let me see. Balance and harmony, things like that. Give me one moment, I just gotta check something on my end. Cool, alright. Now, we've kind of got that settled pretty well, so deities is a check. Now let's take a look at Samsara. No, because I believe similar to like the Norse realms, or like the Greek islands, I might use these as reference for like individual locations. It has a lot to do with the how the Eastern continent is kind of established. So, I'm just waiting for my little program here to tell me a little bit more information about Samsara. So, tell me about the realms of Samsara. So we've also got here the Wheel of Samsara, Wheel of Life. Okay. So that didn't really tell me what I wanted to know, so hopefully my next prompt does. Okay, yep, here we go. So we've got like the Diva realm, or the Pi realm, Heavenly realm. So that's the realm of the gods, and I think this might be closer to what I had in mind. Yeah, now we've got the metal realms with the earthly realms. We've got the Ashura realm as well. Then we had the lower realms, which are like the hellish realms. Now, does this include the hungry ghosts? Yes, this is what I was thinking of indeed. Cool. So, let's list the realms of Samsara. Cool. So, we're going to have the higher, middle, lower realms. Then we've got like the Diva realm slash deity realm. And we specifically have a realm of Brahma Loka, the realm of the creator. It is a abode of the creator god, a realm of ultimate bliss and spiritual achievement. Attaining this realm requires immense spiritual merit, meditation, and knowledge. What's the difference between that and the Diva realm? So, okay. Place of great beauty, pleasure, and happiness. Inhabitants of this realm enjoy long lives. Okay, so that's basically the heaven below heaven. The middle realms are the human realm and the Ashura realm. And then the lower realms, again, the hell realm and the helm of hungry ghosts. So I want to look at the difference between these two specifically. So these are the realms associated with suffering, pain, and despair. Beings are reborn in these realms due to negative karma and are subject to intense suffering as a result. Naraka Loka is the realm of punishment and suffering, similar to the concept of hell in other religions. It consists of various sub-realms, each with its own form of torment and duration, depending on the severity of the sins committed. Souls are reborn in Fingaro due to that, Okay, and then the realm of hungry ghosts is probably the one I'm more interested in. So Pritaloka is the realm of the Predators or hungry ghosts, being in this realm depicted as having insatiable hunger and thirst. Thin necks, large bellies, that symbolizing an inability to satisfy their desire. We also have the animal realm as part of these lower realms. Okay, so I'm thinking what I want to do. Let's look back at the middle realm, so the realm of the Ashura. The Ashura Loka is the realm of the Ashura, who are powerful beings often depicted as jealous and power hungry. This realm is categorized by constant conflict, envy, and competition. Asheras are often depicted as demonic or semi-divine beings who are constantly at war with the gods. Despite their strength and abilities, their lives are marked by dissatisfaction and unrest. Rebirth in this realm is due to karma driven by anger, jealousy, and ambition. While powerful, the Ashera are plagued by their negative emotions, leading to a life of struggle and frustration. So tell me more about the Ashera. So what we're going to do is Human Beast Realm, Ashera, Hungry Ghost Realm. Cool. So I don't think we're going to take from all of the realms that were kind of listed within Samsara. Most notably, like the Fallen Heaven realm, and then like the Creator realm as well. I'm thinking of maybe just having like maybe 3 realms with like 3 deities to kind of maintain the balance there. So the kind of Heaven realm can be the Creator realm, the Middle World, which is like maybe the physical continent where all the humans live. That'll probably be like the Preservation realm. And then we'll also have the Destruction realm, which will be like maybe the Ashera and the Hungry Ghost. So I want to learn a little bit more about the Ashera and the Hungry Ghost at this stage. Mostly because I want to think about whether or not I need to have them as separate entities from each other, or whether I can like combine them somehow. Because right now the big thing in terms of like what I want to do with the Ashera or the Rakshasa is very similar to the work I mentioned earlier, Kubera. I want to take a lot of inspiration from that for how we handle the Rakshasa in this piece. Or maybe the Rakshasa is a part of the Ashera. Hopefully my little research here will tell me. So, key Ashera in Hindu mythology. Okay. I'm not sure if my little hit here tells me much about what I wanted to know. Tell me about the Rakshasa. So I'm not really sure what the Rakshasa are, I just know the word. Rakshasa are a class of mythological beings in Hinduism, often depicted as malevolent, powerful, and fearsome entities. Okay. Alright, so it is some kind of species. So what is the difference between Ashera, Rakshasa, and Hungry Ghosts? Because as I mentioned before, I'm pretty ignorant of a lot of Hinduism mythos and cultures and everything else. So I'm hoping this will really kind of help out with what I want. And while I'm waiting for my little search to load, I'm also going to look up the Kubera wiki. Because I want to get an idea of some things there. So, so races, I want to look up gods and Shuras. Okay, cool. And I might also look up the power of names, because that was a big thing that I might use somewhere in here. So, the gods and Kubera. Is there a nice list of them here? Classification, so we've got the primeval gods, the natural gods, created gods. Okay, that's probably not what I'm looking for. Yeah, but I think the demon aspect is more of what I was interested in utilizing. So, the Shura are one of the 3 races in this Worldview universe. 8 clans, each of which is named after the first king of each clan. Yes, this is what I was kind of wanting to reference here. Okay, cool. So, let's look this up. So the gods are like Kubera, Agni, Varuna, Surya, Indra, Vayu, Chandra, and then the demons are the Ashra, the Ananta, the Yaksha, the Vitra, the Kanara, the Gandharva, and the Garuda. Cool. So, let me bring this up here. I'm gonna call it demons for now. I'll kind of think about how I want to further that out afterwards. So, Garuda tribe, we want the Gandharva tribe, Kinara tribe, as well as the Vitra tribe, Ananta tribe, Daksha tribe, and the Ashura tribe. Cool. So, yeah, so we need to think of a way to call this. So we're going to say demons, Shura, Ashura, let me see, Rakshasa. Cool. I really like the terminology Rakshasa for some reason, even if I can't pronounce it. Cool, and then we also have the gods. So Kubera and Agni and all that. I don't know if we'll fully use those in this case, but I might take them down for now, just because the 8 verse 8 in terms of like the deities versus demons is fitting. So we have like Kubera, Agni, Varuna, Surya, Indra, Vayu, Chandra. That's 7. Okay, that's 7 on 7 actually. For some reason I thought it was 8. Okay. That's fine. Now, let me look. So, the demons have ranks according to their power level, basically. So we've got like Nastikas at the top, then Rakshasa. Okay, there we go. That's where I was getting that terminology from. Upanis, Maris. I think that was meant to be another rank. Okay, so each Shura has a distinct ranking from birth based on the number of generations that separate them from their nearest Nastica ancestor. Most are quite mindful of their status. Children or parents belonging to different ranks are rare. In particular, mixing with such an inferior race as humans is considered to be a disgrace. Only the Vitra clan seems to be exempt. Cool. Let's see. The higher a human's rank, the more naturally beautiful they are. And their beauty does not exceed their rank. Interesting. Cool. So in this view, Nastica, the most powerful type of Shura, we see this since the beginning, do not age. Okay, so each clan has an attribute, plus an origin attribute of their own. Okay. Okay, cool. No, this is good. So I think I need to look at the individual tribes in a second, because I want to get an idea of their affinities. Because basically, we might be treating these guys as similar to the demons from like the Lesser Key of Solomon that I'm going to put together in the in the central continent, not the Lesser Continent. And the idea there is, yes, hello cat, please don't walk on stuff, you like to break things. The idea there, I've lost my train of thought thanks to the cat. You know, I want to, it might be easier to do the Azure power systems first, because doing everything else elsewhere before I get to the Lesser Key demons will make doing those ones a lot easier, since I won't have to worry about taking away from anywhere else. Especially since I've kind of perused the Lesser Key before in my own time, and there really isn't as much information about them as I'd wish. I've come up with like a few ideas for some of the demon powers I can basically do, but yeah, it's more of a, I think it's more of a racial thing than a class or magic thing, if that makes sense. In any case, Maras are the children of the Upanis, the weakest Shuras of the clan, often attacked by high-ranking Shuras. High developed Maras are considered dangerous to the average form. The sage counts as superior Suras and are able to use transcendental skills, but they are so rare that most dismiss them. Okay. Let's see. So even within the races, they have individual ranks. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and bring up their clans in a moment if I can. Okay, so first stage. Okay, so they have human forms as well as Shura forms. Interesting. I don't know if I want to do much with them. Okay, that's fine. What else do we have here? The clans and tribes. So yes, this is what I wanted. So they have the clan names as well as their animalistic characteristic, which I really like, as well as some form of attribute. So the Ananta are going to be snake / earth. Then the Ashura are insects / not chaos, darkness. We have the Gandharva, which are sea creatures and water. The Garuda, birds and sky. The Kinara, hooved mammals and wind. The Virtra are dragons and fire. The Yaksha are mammals without hues. And they're light. And then finally we have the Taraka. And that's separate from all the others. That's the one I was missing before. Taraka. Chaos. Cool. Alright. What else do we have here? Okay. Now I think what I'll do is go to the gods and see if I can find anything there. So I think they all have their own thingos as well, but I don't think I really want to do as much with these other ones, so not sure if I want to do anything with these, but I'm keeping listed for future reference in case I change my mind. Cool. Yeah, no, the demons we're doing stuff with for sure. So now we've kind of already listed here that Rakshasa are a part of the demon ranks, and there's also like one of the tribes is the Ashura tribe. Again, we might not necessarily use all of these as they are here. This is just for reference for now. There's something to think about for later, but I think for the meantime we'll call them Shura as a placeholder, in large part thanks to the system we're referencing. And we'll think a little bit more about what kind of roles we want these guys to fill and where when we kind of figure it out. In the meantime, let's see, what else do we have? So, it seems like how things are at present is we're going to have a very large kind of Indian-inspired nation. And we'll say that there are humans there fighting against these kinds of demons, and they're utilizing the powers of these gods to do so. Because basically, how I'm thinking is kind of lumping the creation, destruction, preservation gods a bit together, as in like they form a unity of balance with each other. And they basically, yeah, no, I'm thinking they work together to basically fight back against like these Shura by using like humans or whatever as a bit of a medium to do so. So, let's see. Let's get a bit of a brainstorming thing going here, and let's just jot down some random thoughts. So, humans of nation have an Indian-inspired culture. They take their powers from the greater gods of creation, destruction, and preservation, which will be from Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Cool. Now, they are locked in a constant state of war/battle with the Shura, which are led by the 8 Shura clan Nastikas, top-ranked Shura. The 8 clans, the Shura are a demon-like race, and we'll say trapped in the realm of hungry ghosts who wish to live in the middle realm, the surface world / Maldoniya's eastern continent in this case. Cool. The human Indian culture is a predominant culture of the eastern continent, inspired by Asia. Cool. Now, I'm thinking a little bit about this here. So, the Indian culture believes in cycles of karma and reincarnation. Those who do good... Yeah, okay, no, I'm thinking we might revise this a bit, but we could end up utilizing these above listed deities here after all, and we might end up having these Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu guys a bit separated. So maybe Brahma and deities in upper realm, Shiva and Shura in lower realm, and then Vishnu and humans in middle realm. I'm just spitballing for now, but we'll see. Cool. So, those who do good ascend to the upper realm. Those who do nothing descend to the lower realm. Actually, not nothing. Those who do bad, those who do nothing remain in the middle realm. Cool. I'm cool with that. Cool. So, upper realm equals Brahma's realm, where the gods quote-unquote reside. Again, this is the one I'm least sure of what I kind of want to do with, because I don't really want to have like another race of angel or something. Middle realm is going to be Vishnu's realm of preservation. Where the humans, the Indian culture, try to maintain the balance / status quo. Damn, don't ask me how to spell quo. I'll just call it balance. Is it just that? Yeah, I think it's just that. Cool. Anyway. Lower realm equal Shiva's realm of destruction. The Shura fight to take over the surface, because it's always the surface that's fought over some reason. Bloody deities and demons and shit don't want to have anything to do with their own realms for some reason. But okay. So, in the case of this, so the humans and the Shura are something I want for sure. But they're going to be like very, very like animalistic monster kind of demons. So separate to like the beastkin and whatnot. So when you imagine a like a wolf guy, for example, he may be just like a basic werewolf, but with like the Shura, when you feel like if you have like a wolf like Shura, the wolf's going to be like the size of a mountain or something if it's a Nastica rank or whatever. They're going to be pretty crazy like that, and they might look like more mutant, more monstrous as well outside of that as well. Now, what else do we kind of want to do with this? Because the thing is, like, I like the Shira being like the embodiments of destruction, the humans of like preservation, and like the high realm of creation or whatever. But the problem with that is, in terms of utilizing them as some form of power system. Because we're probably gonna have a creator / destruction god somewhere, and I feel like this is the most fitting place to probably have them, in comparison to any other culture, just because of Hinduism's like legacy, and as well as like how important these big three gods are within the religion and culture and whatnot. With that said, yeah, like the thing is just in terms of an upper realm, I really don't want to have some other kind of angel or race happening up there. Like the creation as a power system for place use is also absurdly broken for obvious reasons. So I'm thinking maybe we can treat these gods as more so concepts rather than absolutes. So the big three are revered as concepts rather than as individuals with power/force. So the Shura represent destruction, humans represent preservation, and the gods represent creation. So in that case, I think we will end up using these ones we've kind of listed here. And I wonder has some kind of 8 to kind of match the 8 we have here. And yeah, we'll basically have a few power systems there for each of them. So, I think animals and like elements, similar to what we've kind of got here listed with the Shura, is a really good thing we can do in relation to the lesser demons, or the greater demons, or just like the demons in general with the lesser key. Because basically just like combining an animal with a human gives you so much like variety for what you can do with what and where. And I do like the idea of having like these, basically these demons of chaos, because ironically, even though these are technically separate systems, and there are significantly less Rakshasa than Shura than Solomon's demons, they still kind of fulfill the same role within these different societies. So, yeah, I'm not fully sure whether we will be treating them all as what's it called? As having like their own element like fire or whatever at this stage, but no, I do like the overall direction, because we can end up having some overlap with it, which can still create some kind of difference. So similar to before, how we mentioned like we're gonna have like fire/water/wind elements. And then there's also going to be like thermodynamics which overlaps with that, but like elements can be combined to do like different things. And yeah, and in this case, like we might have these Rakshasa, or these Shura rather, who have this capacity for water, and a water affinity. You can like manipulate or bend water or whatever. But them having this like this monstrous form outside of that is another thing altogether. Maybe one of the things we can do to kind of create a difference there is saying they have both the human and Shura form, which they can kind of swap between willy-nilly, but when they're in their human form, maybe they don't have power over these elements. Maybe they have to turn into their monstrous form to be able to project or manipulate these forms of power. Because that'll bring in a much different way of like role-playing. Because sure, they can go around the city like a regular quote-unquote person. But the big thing there is that they, even though they might still like technically be stronger than a normal person, if they can't like manipulate these forces of water outside of that state, then yeah. Another thing we could do is take inspiration from the deity aspects, in which we just mentioned the concepts of like creation, destruction, and preservation, and we could say, hey, maybe these guys are only capable of destroying the elements that they attuned with. So maybe they can like devour light, maybe they can destroy fire. So like, ironically, despite being like embodiment of creation, if they can't create fire but destroy fire, that could actually be seen as a positive thing in some cases. Whereas like the gods like give the power to create fire by contrast. But yeah, no, just some interesting food for thought there. I don't mind the sound of that actually. So sure, don't. None of the three factions have perfect control or harmony over the element that they are affiliated with, or so those who have a contract with a creator god can create an element, yet not manipulate it or destroy it. Those who have a contract with the preserver can manipulate an element, but not create or destroy it. And then finally, those who have a contract with a Shura can destroy an element, but not manipulate or create it. And that brings in a much different method of thinking in terms of like utilizing these powers as well. Because when you think of like elementalists or waterbenders and like disciples of gods and stuff, you're usually thinking that they're either like creating water they manipulate with, or like manipulating water that is already present. But the pure destruction of these elements isn't as often utilized or seen. So I imagine that could bring in a much more interesting dynamic in terms of like playstyle, because for instance, in terms of like destroying water, you can like destroy the rain as it's falling on crops, or destroy the flow of a river to prevent it going from a nearby town or something. And considering that the Shura, in this case, the beings of destruction, are more so a force of chaos or slash evil, depending on your interpretation. Yeah, it really makes sense that they can destroy things like that, especially if we're going to be having them coming from this quote-unquote realm of hungry ghost. We could basically treat it as if they're eating these concepts. Sure, from realm of hungry ghosts, eat to destroy. Cool. I like the idea of this so far. It's definitely a bit more niche slash unique, but I do kind of like it. But now, we've already thought of 8 Shura clans, and then we have 7, which I want to be 8 gods. And we'll maybe also have like 8 subcultures or factions within the preservation realm as well. So I'm gonna take another look at the the list of gods I have here. And I want to see if I can find an 8th. Who is the 8th god in the webtoon Kubera? I'm not sure if I can find it here. I'm just gonna have a bit of a brief glimpse. I'll see if I can search this up as well. Does the webtoon Kubera have 8 gods? What are their names? If not, I can refer to Hinduism and maybe come up with an 8th name there. Okay, and the 8th is probably Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma might also be referenced, so I need to kind of stay away from them. So the ones we have listed are Kubera, Agni, yep. So you also have, let's see, Marut, we have that one, we have that one. Indra we have. Yama is another one. Okay, so let's start learning a bit more about Marut and Yama. Who are these two and what do they do? Who is Yama and who are Yama and Marut? Cool. Yama is the god of death in the underworld, and the Maruts are a group of storm deities. Okay, now let's think about this, because while we do have the an underworld god, we've like spoken a lot about how we want to do a few things with underworlds here and there. Problem in this case is the notion of samsara and reincarnation and whatnot. Okay. Before I really finalize the god stuff there, what I might do is say, what aspects does Kubera represent in the webtoon Kubera? And I'm just going to go ahead and say, and type this for the other gods as well. Because I want to get an idea of the kind of elements they represent and whatnot. Because that'll kind of help me filter out what I'm kind of missing. So we've got Kubera, Agni, Varuna, Surya. Again, apologies for the mispronunciations. We got Indra, we got Vayu, and then we have Chandra. So let's see. Kubera is wealth, prosperity. Then Agni is fire. Varuna is water. Surya is sun and light. Then we have Indra, rainstorms. Air and wind. And then the moon, the mystery, things like that. Okay, so they kind of mirror each other in a way with these Shura here. So Agni is fire. Indra is rain / storms. Okay. Verona is water. Surya is basically light. Vayu is wind. Chandra is moon, mystery, something like that. And Kubera, I think Kubera was also referenced as like Earth. Okay, so let's think a bit about this. So first of all, mystery. I don't really know there's a whole lot I can do there, so I'm going to get rid of that. And Vayu and Indra, they kind of represent like wind. I'm going to say this one can be like lightning or electricity or something, just for the time being. So earth, wind, fire, water, obviously the big four. Actually, let me bring back this one, and we can say you are darkness. Cool. So I think what we might do is get rid of Taraka here and make this a 7 on 7. And that'll save me having to come up with an eighth thing. Yes, hello again, cat. I know you want my attention. Everyone does. Let's hop you down here. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and I think that'll be okay for now. So that's a nice 7 on 7 there. Now, the Shura represents some forms of animals as well. The question is, do we want the gods true as well? Because I believe in the webtoon they were mostly humanoid, but yeah, so maybe we can even take away some of the human aspect from the demons. I'm not fully sure whether I want to or not. Do we want Shura to have humanoid forms, animalistic forms, both? You gotta think about it there, because I don't think I want the deities to have the monstrous forms as such. Mostly because the kind of lower realm is mostly referenced as like the middle realm is the lower realm is also referenced as like the animal realm in Samsara. So with that said, what we can do is say the Shura have no humanoid form. So I like the idea of them being more monstrous and basically wanting to devour spirits, basically fill their endless hunger or whatever. And maybe in this worldview, we can have the humanoids be more of a maybe this is the origin of like the beastmen or the wildkin that I've been kind of thinking of, because if you might remember a couple of streams ago, I was kind of working on wildkin for the most part. And I had like the 3 kind of tribes I'd put up there, but like avian slash land-based slash aquatic, and outside of that, a couple other ones I was thinking of was like something plant-based slash insectoid-based too. But if we're gonna have like other anamorphic races here and there, I kind of need to think about the connection between them, both in terms of like the in-game, worldview as well as the out-of-game worldview, because when you're basically talking about all these different kind of animalistic systems, which have all these different kinds of features or systems or whatever, it gets a little bit confusing. I think they're a bit too similar, such as in these cases. So what I'm thinking, we might have to review like what I want to do with these animalistic races a bit later on, because I really like what I kind of have here with the worldview for these animalistic demons, basically, and similar to how I want the demons to play a major role in the central continent, I kind of want these demons on the eastern continent to play a bit of a similar role there. And basically they're going to be everywhere on the east, even if they are mostly like focused within the boundaries of this Indian nation, pretty much. With that said, let's think about this a little bit more here for a couple of minutes and just kind of work through our thought process. So, we'll have the demons kind of be like the most animalistic, the gods like the most humanoid, and the kind of middle realm guys, the kind of like bestial humans. And if I use that as reference, if they are spreading all out over the eastern continent, there is a basis to say that they would go to the rest of the world as well. Like, who's to say they're going to stay within the confines of this place? Yeah, because basically that'll give me a pretty good idea of something that I can do with these wildkin races, basically, regardless of where they are in the worldview. Now, the problem there is basically the power they're going to have themselves, because generally when you do think of like beast races, you're thinking of like more primal strength and tooth and claw and like the tough hides and things like that. You aren't really thinking of them having this kind of like elemental affinity for like the manipulation, creation, or destruction of these elements. So with that said, maybe this race is like a half-breed. So get rid of that there. So preservation / humans in the middle realm are half-breeds between the god / Shura blessed with the appearance of the gods, cursed with the monstrosity of the Shura. Monstrous appearance of the Shura. Cool. Now, again, I both do and don't like this at the same time. It's a little bit tricky. Not as a standalone thing, but just again because of how it connects to everything else. So if we do have these bestial humanoids basically be basis for the OGs of the beast race, basically. I'm gonna need to determine that sooner than later, because it's gonna basically influence every single other kind of bestial race when I kind of get to it, because basically yeah, like the week before I was like going into how I want like some kind of bear tribe and lion tribe and wolf tribe, and that's even outside like the wind tribes and everything else. And I'm kind of just thinking now, it's similar to the kind of lesser key demons, in terms of like not having to come up with a power system for every kind of individual demon, but rather like classifying them this way, in terms of like saying hoofed mammals and unhoofed mammals can really go pretty far in kind of determining how I want to put these together. So I'm thinking for now I will go forward loosely saying that these will be them. So dude, how do? I'm doing good. How are you doing, dude? Just playing with some Indian mythos and folklore here. Let's see. I think that's pretty good there for now. So let me take down a note here. For the bestial kind of races I was thinking of. So, Wildkin, Avia, and Jura, descendant from the Shura, mortal, godly, mating, resulting in a hybrid race. Now I'll have to think a bit more about what's it called? About whether I want the Asuras to be mating with like the gods or like mortals, because I think in this case it makes sense to have like a mortal tribe being the representative of these gods, and that helps me avoid having some kind of angelic race here, and that still gives me the opportunity to create this kind of half-breed race. So that works out pretty well. Just finished playing in a one-shot. The new game store owners kid hasn't played before, did really well, had fun. That is good to hear, my dude. I was meant to play some D&D this morning originally myself, but unfortunately I had some other commitments come up, so I'm not able to finish playing in the little one-shot mini-adventure I was originally in, but luckily my character actually died in the last session I played, so it worked out kind of well, funnily enough. Half races, yeah. No, I like having some kinds of differences in like what would happen if this race mixes with this race. So I mean, everyone knows like half elves are a major thing in a lot of worldviews, but outside of that, you don't really see like half dwarves or half gnomes or anything else, except for maybe half orcs. So I do want to kind of experiment a little bit more with those in terms of this worldview I'm making here. One of the ones I already kind of fleshed out a little bit more was ogres are basically like, I don't know if, yeah, they were basically like the result of giants breeding with trolls, basically. Let's see. Halflings are always thought of as half gnomes. Yeah, no, I get you for sure. I always thought like halflings and gnomes are a bit too similar because like when you think about them culturally, they do have like completely different cultures as people. But I feel like you don't really need to have different races for them. I think it makes sense to have them be like uh, different sub-races of like a gnomish race or something, personally. But I do get that. Now, where was I? So let's get rid of the godly part here. Trollga is a half troll folk name in my game. Oh, that's cool to hear. Are you making your own game then? Let's see. You're if you've been primarily working on a continent in Exandria as a setting. That's interesting. Exandria, is that Maddie M's one, or is I forget all the different continent names. Yeah, no, I get that for sure. I would like to publish whatever I make from this system I'm working on here eventually, but I'm still pretty into the developmental process for this one, so it'll be a couple of years before I really kind of get anywhere with it. Critical Role, so I'll tell to write. Yeah, no, I thought as much. I've watched a decent amount of Campaign 2, pretty much near to the end, but I've never really touched on much of Critical Role outside of that. Mostly because I prefer to play than watch myself, if that makes sense. Okay, now I want to think a bit more about the worlds that these guys are going to inhabit here. So, we're going to have 3 realms for these guys. We are going to have the upper realm, the middle realm, and the lower realm. So we've got the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, represented by Shiva's Destruction. Then we'll have the Human Realm of Preservation. And then the Diva Realm of Creation. If you play more, you would, but life doesn't have that for me, so I watch and listen a lot. No, I get you for sure. Right now, I've got a lot of free time, so I'm actually DMing 3 separate campaigns right now, which is a fair lot to tackle on, but hey, since I have the free time, I might as well be creative. Hungry Ghosts, yes. So, right now, what I'm working on is a bit of a kind of Indian-inspired nation within this larger worldview I'm constructing. And basically, as part of this construction, I've kind of building out 3 separate realms here, which may not necessarily be physically present within this Indian subcontinent that I'm working on, but basically we're going to have the Diva realm, the Mortal realm, and the Hungry Ghost / Hungry Spirits realm. And these all take inspiration from the Hinduism worldview of samsara and the different realms people go to when they reincarnate based on how much karma they've had throughout their life. But yeah, I've kind of transformed the 6+ however many ones in samsara to 3 here, basically just for good, for bad, and for neutral. And Hungry Ghost is basically going to be like the equivalent of hell, or like the Hollow World in Bleach. Also references the Hungry Spirit realm. And basically, I like the idea of like the 3 big Hindu gods of creation, preservation, and destruction, kind of overseeing these 3 separate realms. And the idea in this case is that the Hungry Ghost realm, which belongs to the race of Shura / Ashura, is kind of a force of destruction. And basically all the races there are going to be like very large, monstrous kind of beasts, which all have their kind of natural affinity to some form of element. And basically what they do is they eat or they destroy this particular element or whatever to kind of become stronger or whatever, or that's the kind of special thing they do in this case. So, for example, we'll have the Gandharva tribe basically be like a large series of sea monsters, and basically what they're doing is they are eating water to destroy water. So basically, they're a very large force of destruction, which is basically like eating the world itself in an attempt to destroy the world until there's nothing left. So they eat like the elements of like water, earth, fire, wind, lightning, as well as darkness and light. So basically there's a very compelling reason for the mortals, or the gods rather, to like fight back to stop these hungry spirits from eating the world to destruction. Eater of worlds, consumerism incarnate, exactly. Yeah. No, I like the idea of having some like niche power systems, for example, as well. So I could definitely do something with like capitalism somewhere to be the enemy or the ally of consumerism in this case. But yeah. So now I'm just thinking a little. So the middle realm will physically be part of this Indian subcontinent. Now I imagine the lower realm to be a void of nothingness, where the Shura are from. They break into the middle realm and devour it to expand their own realm of nothing. Cool. And then the higher realm is separated from the lower realm by the middle realm. The higher realm wishes to stop / slow the devouration of the lower realm, or the middle realm rather, by the lower realm Shura, which result in them granting the middle realm humans the power, the process to help this. Cool. Capitalism's ghost is a boss fight. It's just a bunch of smaller ghosts that pays to fight for it. No, that's it reminds me of this project I was working on before. So before I started like expanding on this worldview, I was briefly tinkering with the creation of my own game, and one of the boss fights was going to be against a goblin boss, which is basically like the biggest, largest, fattest goblin, and basically he literally throws his weight around to boss the other goblins, and basically force them to like lift them up and carry them on the pantolin or whatever that like that kind of flat bed with the chair on it that monarchs and like ages past always used to be carried around on. And he'd basically just like sit on his chair, and the boss fight would be like him ordering all of the smaller goblins to like fight for him to attack like the player party, until eventually like he either runs out of goblins or like the goblins just get slaughtered to the point where no more are willing to fight, leaving the fat goblin defenseless, and then the player party can pretty much just finish the job. Palanquin, yeah, I think that might be the word. Can weaken it by forming a ghost labor union. No, I actually thought about referencing unions for the creation of like the guild system in this world as well. Although I think unions were originally derived from guilds in our own world as well. Let's see. I'm just gonna look up the palanquin. I'm just trying to make sure I had the right thing in mind. Yeah, palanquin. That is the right word. Alrighty. So, I've got a pretty good idea in mind here now of what I want from this nation and the greater worldview as a whole. But I need to think a bit more about the smaller scale now. So I'm thinking maybe the, let's look at the lower realm. I think that'll be the easiest to start with. Slash realm of hungry spirits. So basically gonna take some of this information and whack it in here and begin expanding on it in a bit more detail. Anti-guild storylines being union busting stories sounds solid to me. Yeah, no, so basically what I'm doing with the guilds is basically having a bit of a dual intention with them. So basically the tailors are also going to be like the assassins guild, and like the inn and tavern proprietors, they're also going to like double as brothels, basically. So I've got a few interesting kind of ways to like have people like enter these professions and basically come up with a unique way to tell a story or have an adventure for players to go on through them, because the end goal of this little project is to make it its own TTRPG system to kind of play with to rival D&D. Now, so let's think a bit more about the lower realm. So I imagine the lower realm is separated into 7 sectors. Each sector belongs to one of the Shura clan. So we'll say the Garuda rule the skies, the Gandharva rule the seas, the Kinara rule the plains, the Ritra rule the volcanoes, the Anata rule the blank. Okay, I gotta think about this a little bit more, because the intention of the Shura is to basically devour the mortal realm to make it like nothingness. Would that mean the Shura realm itself is nothingness? I kind of like the idea of the Shura realm being like some large kind of landmass, basically. Let me expand on this above real quick. So the Shura's lower realm of hungry spirits is a disconjoined mishmash of varying landscapes that don't look as if they should belong together. Frozen mountains are found in the middle of deserts. Rivers of water flow through volcanoes. And craters, caverns within the earth have some of the strongest winds. This disconjoined mess of landscapes is created via the Shura's devouring of the middle realm. The lower realm was originally, and still is, an ever-expanding world of nothingness, and the Shura have to rely on eating the middle realm to continue expanding the lower realm to counteract the realm's inevitable descent into nothingness. So, alright. So I'm thinking that gives me like some good things. Oh, cat, get off. I'm thinking that gives me some good things I can do in terms of like the difference between wind and air. Especially because, or like the wind and the sky, because basically, like we can say the Gandhava like devour the sky to bring the sky to this world, similar to how the others consume light and darkness to bring light and darkness into this world. And well, it may not necessarily be like a physical landscape; it's part of what they had to devour to kind of create this world. No worries, you have to sleep? Well, thanks for joining me, buddy. I hope to see you around again soon. Alrighty, now, let me see. Okay, so, yeah, so let's do it this way. So, the Garuda devour the sky to bring the sky. The Gandhava devour the waters to bring the waters. The Kanara devour the winds to bring the winds. The Vyutra devour the fire to bring the fire. The Ananta devour the earth to bring the earth. The Yaksha devour the light to bring the light. And the Ashura devour the darkness to bring the darkness. Now, the problem with that we have like no plant life in this world. That isn't necessarily a bad thing in and of itself. I'm just questioning the need as to whether we should have it or not. So, basically what we're going to have is a realm of nothingness. So theoretically, life shouldn't be able to live there. So I don't necessarily think flora and fauna as such will be a thing. So I'm just imagining like large expanses of like mountains without lights and fires that can't like light up the darkness around them. Just being these large, expansive, desolate environments of nothingness. I think that's pretty good. And it kind of just gives them more motivation to basically want to escape the worldview that they've been trapped in. So I think I'm okay with how we've kind of set these up here. Even if it does take a pretty large inspiration from the Kubera system for now. Now, let's see. Tell me about the ranks of Shura. So let's see what else we kind of get there. We might want to consider tiers within ranks. Example, levels 1 through 9. We'll see how that goes. What else do we have? Okay. I think that's pretty good there. So we've got an idea in mind of what we want there. So let's think about the difference between these ranks. So we're gonna have the... This is tentative, but for now we'll have the Nasika, the Rakshasa, the Panis, the Mara. We'll think about like how we want these to kind of be. So I would say in Shura terms, the larger you are, like the more powerful you are, because basically, since their whole thing is to eat, they are basically going to be let's see. Nasika, size of mountains. I'm just thinking a little bit in terms of like comparison to other legendary kind of mythical creatures. I want to have like the dragons or behemoth or leviathan, etc., etc. So they're basically going to be natural disasters. So, well, it would be fun to like have something be the size of a continent. I think that's unrealistic for this purpose. So we're going to say the size of a mountain, the size of a hill, the size of a house, and the size of a what's a good reference? We could do like horse / wagon, cart. I want something a bit more natural. A boulder would be good. I think that's good there. And basically, I can say the larger a Shura, the more it can devour, the stronger it is. Size is a measure of a Shura's strength. Cool. Size is a measure of a Shura's strength. Let's see. What else do we want to kind of do here? And rank. So the mountain-sized Nastica through to the boulder-sized Mara. I like the idea of the smallest of them being pretty significant themselves. So I'm thinking, aside from the Nastica, each of the Shura rankings are divided into 3 sub-rankings from 1 to 3. Let me just bring up my background reference here quickly as well. So I'm just looking up is Nastica. I want to go to the Shura page because basically what they did with their system is they would have like different growth suches, which is all well and good. But what I want to do, yeah, so they have like a newborn to toddler, young child, teens, adults, etc. So I'm thinking of just having these guys basically born as rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. So rank 3 will be adult, rank 2 will be young adult, that one will be kind of just a teen. And now, do we want them to be born as teens? Because they're basically going to be like born the size of a boulder. I've kind of already established that this is going to be based on a reincarnation system. And with these guys being the monsters that they are, they can theoretically hatch from eggs. So I'm thinking maybe they can have some kind of like developmental period within their eggs before they really come into being, or something like that. Basically, so these creatures become more powerful by devouring. This is how they grow and rank up. The Shura start their reincarnation cycle in eggs, during which time they develop before being born as rather large monstrous creatures, which are immediately able to take action with a teenager's level of maturity. Now, that might be the wrong kind of terminology. So let's think about this, because basically we, in this case, don't really want the Shura to have humanoid forms. We want them to be a more monstrous force of evil that's kind of like fought against and battled. Now, with that said, how else do we kind of want to do this? Let me see. Small, medium, large, because the thing is, like, if we kind of use like age as a reference, if they kind of like rank up as they eat, the maturity factor becomes a little bit weird. So, boulder, cool. So let's do this based on like intelligence or something. So the size of a boulder, Mara have no intellectual capacity or ability to reason or communicate. They act on pure instinct. Greater Shura are capable of commanding them, which they do so obediently, unflinchingly, even if it costs them their lives. They have no sense of self-preservation and exist purely to consume. Cool. And even though these guys, like, their main thing is to eat these specific elements, I think they would like try to eat anything else that kind of gets in their way. Although I imagine maybe they can't really eat properties of elements that they aren't really part of, if that makes sense. Cool. Hello, cat. Yes, you can hop off. Now, the panties have a basic level of intelligence. They can't communicate themselves, but they have developed an awareness as well as a sense of self-preservation. They adhere to the commands of higher ranked Shura. Despite not being able to communicate intelligently, they are still able to make a series of growls through which they are capable of commanding the lower ranked Mara. Now, the Rakshasa have a moderate level of intelligence. They can communicate verbally and have developed a sense of ambition and purpose in addition. Cat, stop jumping up there. And a sense of ambition and purpose in addition to their basic self-awareness and self-preservation. Capable of tactics, but not strategy. Cool. And I would say that Nastica have an advanced level of intelligence. In addition to mastering all of the below, they are now also capable of politics, warfare, and strategy. Now, so we've noted we don't want any of the lesser ones to be able to take human form. I do still like somewhat of an idea of maybe some of them having some form of humanoid capacity, but I mean, that's kind of overdone. I think it could be funner to leave them as these giant monstrous beasts. Because even if they are capable of turning into humans, they even have any kind of want, need, or desire to do so. I think not. Alright, I might be able to think of some other difference between rankings between these lesser ones here and there, but I
think for now that's pretty good, but tell you what, I've been going for about 2 hours now. I feel like I've made a pretty decent progress here. So I'm thinking that might be a good place to leave off there, but I'll put in quickly here, equivalent to gods, dragons, behemoth, leviathan, etc. in other worldviews. Cool. But yeah, no. I think that's a good place to leave things here for today. Now, I believe I'll be coming back at it again tomorrow. So I'll probably continue to flesh a few things out there, and we'll kind of see how we go with that. But yeah, no. I'm not sure if I'll keep expanding on the Indian stuff tomorrow. Maybe I'll move on to one of the other cultures or categories or whatever, but yeah, we can think about it more then. But in the meantime, my voice is a little parched. I think that's a good place to stop for now. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.